Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at this week's watches that's just landed right now on the website at kibblewatches.co.uk. Now, as always, there will be links in the description to each watch I showcase here today, as well as timestamps to skip to that particular part of the video, to skip me rambling as I usually do. And as promised, there is a lot more vintage watches in this drop than the last ones, because a few people have said, Kibble, we want more vintage, and I have provided. Now, I'm recording this video in a fair bit of advance. It's the 3rd of November today, and the UK goes in lockdown on Thursday. So as of the time of this video going live, we will already be in lockdown, which means you are not able to come to the office to view these watches in person, I'm afraid. But the business is still going, nothing's changing on that front. I will still be shipping out watches, and as always, we offer a 3 days, no questions asked returns policy, as long as the watch is returned in the exact same condition it's sent, obviously. So utilize that if you guys and girls want to see these watches, but aren't 100% sure on size or dimensions. And as always, check the website, because we go into huge detail on there with all the watches listed, their specifications, their sizes, down to the lug length, which not a lot of places do. Also, we provide incredible macro shots, so make sure you check all those out before purchasing to make sure it's the watch for you. And I just want to say, I hope all you guys and girls stay safe during this. You know, it's strange times for sure. Whether you agree or disagree with the lockdown, we are going into one, so please all just be careful, think about other people and support local businesses. You know, this is the time where they need you the most. So your local grocery shop or any other places online, shop small if you can with the little guys. Let's help those out. Now that that is all out of the way, let's get on to some watches, but we'll start with what is on my wrist. Now, another piece from the personal collection, and if you've missed the video, go back and have a look. Wednesday we released the state of the personal collection, so make sure you check it out. And this is one that was showcased in there. It is a 1920s sterling silver jump hour watch. Now, it's no official brand, it's not like it's Cartier or anything crazy, it's just a 1920s watch. It is not very accurate at all, to be honest. And the reason being, these weren't particularly accurate anyway when they first came out. The movements aren't the best, but the design is stunning, the size is amazing. It's very similar to my personal Cartier tank. I absolutely love this piece, and again, personal collection, so not for sale. Now, as I said, we've got a lot more vintage watches in this drop, and only a few modern, but those modern are still epic. We've got 3 gorgeous Habrings and an amazing MKII to show you guys in terms of modern. In terms of vintage, we've got 3 new old stock Zeniths. It would have been 4, but one of them is sold. So I'll put a picture of that on screen as I talk, but we're not going to go into detail about that one. But the other 3 are still available. As of the time of recording this video, granted it's about 5 days before the drop, so who knows. A gorgeous Satina, very affordable piece, a amazing Doxa, which I can't wait to get into detail about, and a very, very special and underrated Movado. Now, where to begin? Usually I start with the most expensive and work my way down, or just the modern pieces and then the vintage. Let's switch it up this time. Let's have a look at the 2 Zeniths, one that's in stainless steel and one that's gold plated. So a few videos ago, I teased at the fact I had some new old stock Zeniths, either on the way or already here, and I did get a few messages. And 1 or 2 have already sold. So I don't think these are going to last very long at all. These are both 1970s new old stock Zeniths. These are the same model, just one's in gold plate and one's in steel. They both come with their original leather straps, which I would recommend if you're buying and you're wanting to wear, swapping them out straight away, because I mean, this leather is nearly 50 years old, so it's not not very wearable. They both come with their correct Zenith buckles and even swing tags as well. Check the website to see which swing tags they come with, because some come with just their one swing tag, and then a couple come with the extra Zenith swing tag with the movement specs as well. But really, really stunning. Let's start with the gold plated one. As you can see, the condition is amazing, as you would expect with new old stock. One thing I do want to say is new old stock is a interesting term, because it means that they've been sat in a drawer or been in storage the entire time and they are new old stock. Now, Some people expect that to mean they are completely flawless. Now, if you put anything in a drawer for about 40 to 50 years, there is a chance you might get a couple of storage marks over the years and a couple of scratches here and there. So whilst these are true new old stock, and I am very confident saying that, please do not expect it to be brand spanking new, because that amount of storage over that amount of years, and you've got to remember these have probably traded hands as well. So marks may be seen. I think I just want to make clear. Now, as I said, both circa 1970s to be precise. It's very difficult with Zenith because there's no sort of official serial number database which gives the years. If you know of one, please do send it me, because I've been looking for one for quite some time. But inside both of these is the Zenith Quartz Caliber 51. Both have had a new battery and also been fully tested and lubricated and their oils checked. Because new old stock, what happens is they seize up and they get very, very stiff because the oils and everything inside get all sort of gunky and not very nice. So we've had them taken apart and redone, so they both come with our warranty, and as I said, they've got new batteries, so you should be good to go. Now, they are both 40mm by 41mm lug to lug, so they wear like a pretty oval or round timepiece, because it's almost the exact same dimensions all the way around. They interestingly have a 23mm lug width, so a bit of an awkward lug width, but not impossible to find, and only 12mm thick. But the design is so 70s, it's amazing. And this one has a gradiated, almost like a coffee golden brown colour, which matches the strap gorgeously. Really, really stunning example, absolutely gorgeous. And one that may be sold by the time you're watching this. I think it was originally a black dial, or it was originally a blue dial. I have no idea. But the dial is like a cross between purple, blue, black. You can see the way it's like aged. It's really, really cool. So check out the macros on that one to get a better idea. Again, same sort of condition. This one has its full sticker on the back. Again, Zenith buckle, the whole lot, Zenith strap, which is pretty, you know, I don't know how much wear you'd get out of that, so swap it out. And again, same dimensions. So here it is on my wrist for reference, and I've tried to be very, very competitive with the pricing of these, of all the new old stock pieces actually. Both of these are under £500 each, so when you consider you're getting a new old stock 70s Zenith for under £500, I think that's really, really good value. So go check them out. I don't think they'll last long at all. And the age-old question, do you wear new old stock? Do you not? I mean, that's up to you. Personally, I would. I'd enjoy them. But then, you know, these are probably some of the final examples that will ever be found like this. So it's a difficult question to answer. Only you can decide. Okay, so we might as well finish off the Zeniths and look at the 1980s new old stock. So the Marmite one of the group, and people either seem to really love this or really they don't at all. This is a 1980s Zenith as opposed to 70s like the others. It does come with its original bracelet, Zenith signed, with this sort of really interesting design, and I've affectionately called this the Zenith Santos because it very much looks like that. It is a screw down crown, the thread works and everything, but it can be a little bit stiff at times. It's all original. It's gold plated bezel, not gold bezel. And again, quartz. Now, this one is slightly later. It's their Zenith Movado caliber 11.5 inside this one, used by both brands, so not quite the same as the other one. And size-wise, let's put it on wrist, it's actually 32mm, but by 37mm. So don't let that size make you think it's small. It's actually pretty good considering the shape. Only 7mm thick, so super, super thin, and it is 18mm lug. So if you're not a fan of the strap, you can swap it out, which is very, very good. But the design is awesome. Again, swing tag, as you can see, a slightly different one because it is a slightly later model, but a fun watch. Again, new old stock. Do you wear it? Do you not? Again, up to you. You can be the decider. This one is only a little bit over £400, so again, stupidly good value. The reason being, it's not quite 70s, it's not as old, and it's not as well built as the others. It's still a good watch, but not quite as good as the 70s ones. So it is a bit more affordable. So go check it out and treat yourself. So 3 Zeniths, now 3 Habrings. Let's have a look at the split seconds Doppel Felix. So a piece I think is absolutely stunning, and from a brand that does not get anywhere near enough recognition. and I really do think they are on the right tracks to becoming one of the top micro brands, just because of how they're doing things. This is the Doppel Felix split seconds in sort of an anthracite grey with beautifully reflective gilded indices there, as you can see, and matching gold hands. Now this is a split second chronograph or retropant, depending on what you want to call it. Now interestingly, in the last drop we did an IWC, and I'll throw that up on the screen for you to see. This has a very similar architecture in its movement, and interestingly, the gentleman who started Habring, along with his wife, but the gentleman was at IWC when they were coming up with that complication. He was one of the lead people in that department. So interestingly, when I had both watches at the same time, the guy had worked on both of them, so quite cool in that regards. But let's show it. This is a mono pusher, meaning one pusher to start, stop, and reset. Now, what makes it a split second chronograph is this up here, and I got some gorgeous photos which show those two hands, and you can see them almost stacked on top of each other there, but check out the macro. And if I press this here, it splits the chronograph, so you can split time. Now, in terms of functionality and usability, would you actually ever really use this in a practical way in your daily life? Probably not. Let me know down in the comments if you would. But the cool thing is, it's just a cool feature. Again, I'm saying cool. You'll have to forgive me. But you can see you can flip it back and reset. And this is where it gets even better. So as we flip this around, take a look at that movement. Absolutely stunning. Let's see, it's quite reflective, so I'm sorry if I can't focus on it very well. This is actually the manual wound Habring caliber A11R. It's an in-house movement, but based on architecture of the ETA or the Valjoux 7750 chronograph. So you can see the stop, start and reset all there. And if I start and then use the flyback, look at that arm doing the work right there. With like a little cam system. Very cool. If you're into watches and you're into mechanical watches, that is going to entertain you no end, regardless of how gorgeous the watch is. And the watch is gorgeous. This one is from March 2018, and it comes with its box and paperwork, as you would expect. And in terms of its dimensions, it's not a small watch, but it wears very well considering. 42mm by 52mm lug to lug. So not on the small side, as I said. It is 15mm thick and 22mm lugs. So it's a big watch, but if you like bigger watches, or even if you like a Speedmaster, I think you can get away with this very similarly to how you can get away with a Speedmaster. It's longer, but those lugs do curve down nicely, as you can see, so it does slope the wrist. Condition of these is great, and the dial is stunning. Now for my favourites of the Habrings, the Jumping Pilot. Now to my favourite of the 3 Habrings I've got in at the moment, and luckily it's actually not going at the moment, so we'll give it a wind as I talk. So this is the Jumping Seconds Pilot, and you're going to see why it's called the Jumping Seconds. The watch ticks like a quartz watch, but it is completely mechanical. If I get that in focus there, you can see that centre wheel ticking along. And you can see the little lever right there, which moves there every second and pulls it down to tick the seconds along. Really gorgeous piece. Inside here, that is the Habring caliber A09MS, and this model is from June 2014 and a full set. Now I believe the movement in here is slightly different to one they use now. So this is an earlier caliber, but absolutely gorgeous. A jet blue dial with those applied indices. Almost galvanic in its style, and again almost 2 different blues, as you can see as the light passes. Really gorgeous piece, and that feature wasn't very popular, you know, in the 60s and a time period like that, you know, when the Rolex did the True Beat. It did not sell well, and a lot of people actually got the True Beat converted to a normal automatic by Rolex when they do that kind of thing. So it's good to see this mechanism coming back and people really enjoying it, and a brand like Habring decorating it that well, because that is stunning. Now, in regards to dimensions, it is pretty similar, if not almost the same, to the other Habring we just had a look at. So 42mm by 52mm lug to lug, so quite big. 14.5mm thick, so a little bit thinner, and 22mm lugs again. So very similar in its size. The only difference really is the case is all bead blasted or brushed or whatever you want to call it, and it just makes for a very versatile looking watch, almost tool watch-esque because of the finish, but you've got all that craftsmanship and again, it would look great on a darker strap as well. I feel like you could actually wear this as a dress watch. Granted, a big dress watch, but a awesome piece nonetheless. And the final Habring, the Blue Felix. Now for the final of the Habrings. This is the Felix in blue. Now the blue is very difficult to capture, but it's a dark blue which radiates out from the center. A really, really stunning piece, and very, very underrated from Habring. It's their classic line, sort of entry point of getting into their watches. It is a manually wound. The caliber inside here they call the A11B, and that movement is very much looks like a Unitaz, a very heavily converted Unitaz, but I'm not 100% sure what it's actually originally based on. Really gorgeous dial. You can see you've got sub-seconds over there at 9 o'clock, and a lot of people, myself included, would consider this a affordable alternative, an affordable competitor to the Chronometre Blue by FP Journe. And you know what? I think it really does give it a run for its money. Now granted, it's comparing two very different watches. One's made of tantalum with a crazy movement and a crazy dial and all these crazy things, but this offers a hell of a lot for not as much money, obviously nowhere near as much money. And again, it does come on this bracelet with spare links, but it also looks amazing on a strap. So I would definitely recommend getting a strap for it if that's what you prefer. And I'll show it here on wrist. As you can see right there, size wise it's really, really good at 39mm by 46mm, so wears super compact. It's only 9mm thin, thanks to that manually wound movement, and 20mm lug, so the versatility is endless. It is from November 2015 and a full set again, so I would definitely recommend checking out all of these Habrings because they offer incredible value for what they do. Now granted, they are not cheap watches, and a lot of people when they first hear the price are surprised, but when you start looking into the brand, researching the history, understanding what they do and how much they modify, you start to appreciate what it is they're doing, and I think the price begins to make much more sense, so go check them out. Let's switch it up and go back to vintage. Let's have a look at the Movado. Now for one of my favorites from this drop, and I think it's going to be so underrated and so undervalued as well. The price we're asking, I think it should be so much more, but the market just isn't there yet, so I think it's a great deal. This is a Movado calendar plan, as you can see by the name, or calendo plan. You can see you've got a little pusher down there, and that pusher is actually to advance the date. So this is a super early introduction of the date complication. This is actually from 1953. So that is incredibly early, and I think they introduced this model in about 1950-51. So very early in the production of this model as well. It is actually 9-carat yellow gold, and the case is a JW Benson. Not JW Benson, sorry, Denison. It's a Denison case. So the case is actually made here in the UK, which is very interesting. And the Movado, as you can see down there, Switzerland stated at the bottom. 9-carat gold, gold indices and hands as well, or at least I assume so. Really, really gorgeous. No engraving on the back, which is always nice. We've got it paired on a genuine lizard, which I think just looks stunning on it. Manually wound, so the caliber inside here is the manually wound Movado caliber 128. So a very, very nice looking movement. Again, no box, no papers, 9-carat gold, 1953, so very, very early. You're looking at closing in on 70 years old. 33.5 mil, but because of the thickness of the case, and by thickness I don't just mean the actual thickness, I mean these gold cases are quite thick, so it adds a little bit of weight, because usually gold cases from this kind of period were quite thin, so you didn't get that same thickness. And talking about the thickness, it's 10.5 mil thick, 40 mil lug to lug and 18 mil lugs. Very, very compact, very, very gorgeous. And that dial is stunning. And this is the perfect example of buying stock that I absolutely love and I wish I could keep. So I always buy stock that I enjoy. The reason being, if it's going to stick around for a little while, I'd rather be able to enjoy it myself as well. But this is one of those models where if I had unlimited funds, I would just be keeping it because I think it's stunning. So go check it out, save me of my misery and just buy it now. Now for the MK2. Now to a watch you've either heard about or you haven't, MK2. Now they have been slowly but surely increasing in popularity over the years and building an almost cult-like following within the collector community of collectors who absolutely swear by them, own multiple and love them, and I can see why. This is the Stingray 50, and obviously from its design, as you can probably tell if you know your watches, this is heavily inspired and influenced by the Blancpain 50 Fathoms, one of the world's first dive watches, true diver watches. As you probably just saw, it does have a screw down bezel as well, and the case is all bead blasted or fully brushed, as you can see, which is a really, really cool finish, and it just adds to that tall watch vibe that it's giving off. The movement inside here is an ETA 2824-2, back before ETA were very strict on who they supplied to. Screw down case back, 200 meters water resistant. It's just a all-round great watch. It is from April 2008, and it does come with its box and paperwork, and is currently paired on a Ghostrifter sailcloth strap, which really suits the watch. But what a stunning piece. And you know, considering its age, it's worn, you can't really tell, and that's the great advantage of this kind of finishing. It just seems to hide any marks, or even just diffuse them straight away, you know, before they even appear. So, cool watch. I would highly recommend it if you're in the market for one of these higher end homage watches that still have their own flair and their own sense of identity. We're nearly finished, but let's have a look at this Doxa. Now on to something very surprising, a Doxa AntiMagnetic from 1939/40/41. It's that kind of period, very late 30s or very early 40s. As you can see, it's got its original gloss dial with gilting in the numerals and the name and everything like that. It's not perfect, it has a couple of marks, but again, the age, you kind of expect it. Really gorgeous hands on there as well, as you can see. The design and the style of them, absolutely incredible. It's got a chrome case, so chrome puts some people off, but this kind of period, a lot of them did have it. And the steel cases are way more expensive than these are. But again, really, really gorgeous design. And one surprising thing about this is the size. Now, before I tell you the size, let's put it on wrist and get a sense of the dimensions on wrist. Very similar to sort of like modern NOS in its design, but that's because it was from a period where this sort of Bauhaus design-esque was very, very popular. Now, you can see that fills up my wrist nicely, and that is it looks like a big watch anyway. Surprisingly, it's only, and I say only, but it's 36 millimeters. Now, for 1939 or 40, 36 millimeters is huge, but still, it looks far bigger. I thought it was like 38, 39 millimeters. It's 43 millimeters lug to lug, which helps with the size. Only 10 millimeters thick with 18 millimeter lugs. Now, it does have fixed spring bars or fixed lugs, so you have to use these open-ended straps or a NATO. But I've put it on this black leather strap, which I think looks absolutely gorgeous. Manually wound Doxa caliber inside. Just an overall great piece of history, a nice sized watch, and again, very underrated. And last, but by no means least, the gorgeous Satina. Now to a watch from a brand that really doesn't get as much respect as it should. This is a 1960s Satina New Art Automatic. It's a very, very comparable watch to like an Omega Geneva or even some of the Omega Seamasters, but a lot less money. And I think a lot of people are looking for these kind of vintage watches that give that same sort of feel, but a fraction of the cost, and this is exactly that. It does have its original signed crown, and it's very, very cool caseback with the New Art and a plane, and it's got its numbers stated there as well. It is a monocoque case, which means you can only get through the front by taking the crystal out and going through the front of the watch rather than through the back. Again, great design, very, very gorgeous piece, and just very, very affordable. It is automatic, as I said. It's got the Satina caliber 25-651 inside, and it is from the 1960s. The size is a little bit on the smaller size, but I feel like if you're into smaller watches, this is going to work perfectly fine. 33mm by 37mm, so nice and compact on the wrist. Only 10mm thick and 18mm lugs, and you can see we've got it paired on this nice sort of burgundy leather strap, which just looks very, very nice on it. So go check it out. Not an expensive watch at all, and a great entry into vintage, or for someone who just loves vintage watches. So there you have it, guys and girls. That is this week's drop. I want to thank you all very much for watching as usual. And don't forget, there is no appointments at the office until December, or at least that's what they're saying so far. That may change, so keep an eye out for any updates, and I'll keep you guys updated as well. For the best way to keep in contact and keep on top of everything that's going on with Kibble Watches, Instagram. Make sure you follow there. Our stories, we're always putting up stories every single day, loads of them, showcasing individual watches, maybe a couple of special deals, and also what's coming in, so you can be informed before anyone else and get in there early. And I just want to reiterate, the business is not changing during lockdown. I get a lot of messages of people freaking out, wondering what's happening. We're not changing. We're going to continue doing the things the way we do them. We take the precautions and we take your safety very, very seriously. But all watches will be shipped out. So if you buy a watch, it will be shipped. It may be just the fact that there's 1 or 2 days of a delay in terms of getting it posted out. I'm still going to be coming to the office and again, taking all precautions necessary, so do not panic. As for this video, I hope you liked it. And if you did, remember, leave a like and subscribe to keep on top of the videos. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Take care and peace out.